Hey all, Tommy the Butcher for Wise Guys Barbecue. You know what? It's about time we do a dessert. Bourbon creme brulee. We did it on the pellet smoker. You guys are gonna love this, so stick around. I'm gonna show you how you can do it. But before we get started, please like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you do not miss an episode. You better stick around because you're gonna love this. We're gonna be making it together. In our bowl, I got 5 egg yolks. They've been separated. This recipe is calling for 6 egg yolks. I'm going to show you guys how simple it is to separate an egg yolk. Just crack an egg. And you want to just transfer it back and forth until you eventually just end up with the yolk. All right, so that's 6 egg yolks. Next, we're going to go in with a half a cup of white granulated sugar. I'm going to whisk this up just to get everything nice and incorporated. 6 egg yolks, half a cup of sugar. All right, that's looking good. Next, we have a quart of heavy cream. We've heated this up. You don't have to bring it to a boil. All you have to do is heat it up, let it come to a simmer. Just as it comes to a simmer, you're done. You only want to get this heated up. As you're doing it, just stand with it, stay with it, and make sure you're stirring it so that it doesn't scald in the bottom. Now we're gonna introduce the hot cream into the egg mixture. And you want to do this very carefully, very slowly. If not, you'll end up scrambling the eggs. The eggs will get cooked. So just stay with this, just dribble in a little bit at a time. And as you're doing it, you want to keep whisking it. Eventually, you're going to get to a spot where you can just dump it all in. But what we're doing is we're tempering the eggs with the hot cream. Very important when building or making a custard. All right, once we get down to about half the volume of cream, you can just go ahead and just dump it all in because we've reached we're beyond the stage where the eggs can cook. So we're going to get all that in one shot. Keep whisking. So that's it. We got our custard mixture. We got our eggs, our sugar, and our cream. Next thing we're going to go in with is vanilla. Now we're doing a bourbon creme brulee, so we're going to be adding a little bit of liquid in the form of bourbon to this. If you are not going to use the bourbon is absolutely an optional thing. You don't have to do the bourbon. This is where you're going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla extract. But seeing as we're going in with a liquid in the form of bourbon, I'm going to use vanilla bean. And we want 1.5 tablespoons of either vanilla extract or the equivalent using vanilla beans. Now, 1 vanilla bean is equal to 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. So all we got to do is we slit the bean lengthwise to open it up. Then you take that bean using your knife. You just want to press down and scrape all those pods out. That's where all the flavor is right there. So we're going to go in with that. I'm going to get this scraped out good. This is a little tricky doing this. Well, for me, it is anyways. All right, get that vanilla in there. Now that was 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, or the equivalent of. Now I'm going to go in with a second. Get this opened up. And I'm going to scrape out half of this. It's all flavor, vanilla flavor right there. Next is our bourbon. So any bourbon you like, it's up to you. You don't have to go to anything crazy in this. Anything like a Pappy, certainly wouldn't want to do something like that. So we're going to go in with 2 tablespoons bourbon. Here's our bourbon. Once again, you can do this without any problem, without the bourbon. You don't have to use it. This is an optional. once again, just use a tablespoon and a half of vanilla extract. So I'm gonna get this all stirred up, get it all blended well. All right, the next thing we wanna do is, we're using a 4-ounce mason jar in lieu of those little white ceramic creme brulee ramekins. So at this point, I'm gonna fill each one of these up. And we're gonna go not quite to the top. So I have 11 4-ounce mason jars. This recipe will fill all 11. All right, I'm gonna go in and top some of these off a little bit. We have 11 ramekins. Our 11 mason jars all filled. Next thing we want to do is we're going to go in with some warm water. So these cook in a water bath. We're using I think this is a 9x13, like brownie pan, that type of thing. You want something with a little height on it so that you're able to get hot water in there, enough to get halfway up the sides of these little mason jars. So it's going to pour in some hot water. We just want to go halfway up the sides of these jars. These are all set to go, and we're ready to get them onto our pellet smoker. We're running these at 325 degrees. They're going to go for about 40 minutes. We're going to get these on. All right, we got our pellet smoker cruising right now. We're at 326. If you don't have a pellet smoker or a smoker at home, by all means, you can do this in the oven. 325, 40 minutes. And you should be good to go. We're running with some pecan pellets today. The pecan smoke will give it a little extra nuttier flavor profile. So I think that'll balance well with everything we have going on here. All right, we're gonna get the pan up here on the top shelf. And we're gonna let this go for about a half an hour, 30 minutes. Then we'll come back out and check and see how they're coming along. But I'm expecting a 40-minute cook, maybe 45 minutes, somewhere in that time zone. So we'll be back in a few minutes and we'll get these off and go to the next step. We'll see how we're doing. All right, folks, we're ready to get our creme brulee off the smoker. So we actually went a total of 50 minutes. It went about 10 minutes longer than what I thought, with the lid being open and checking on how we're coming along. We had some fluctuations in the internal temperature. And as I say, if you're looking, you're not cooking. So we just extended the cook. We finally got to where it needs to be. And there are 2 signs that'll tell you when these are done. We're looking for a little tremble as we give it a little shake. You can see that jiggle a little bit. So they're done, they're not set. They're gonna have to go to the refrigerator for a minimum of 3 hours. Preferably overnight, but a minimum of 3 hours. Another telltale sign, if you're not sure where they are, you want to look for 170 degree internal temperature. Every one of these is there. We have 172, 174, 175. So we know these are good. So that's it, they're done. And next, we have to get them to the fridge for the cool down. Okay, our bourbon creme brulee have finished. We've let them cool for 3 hours. So the next step after cooking is we gotta get these bruleed up. So I'm gonna apply about a tablespoon of just white table sugar. Just spread it out evenly. You can kind of shake it around with your hands. Now the food torch, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna caramelize all the sugars. And I find it best to try to get this around the perimeter first, and then work your way towards the middle. But we just want to hold it until you see everything starting to bubble. It'll take on an amber color. you know you're getting your sugars all caramelized. And don't worry if it gets a little dark, because we can stop that flame at any time. And once you see that happening, you want to pick this up and just swirl it around. That sugar is all caramelized and it's liquid caramel, so this will spread it out along, right around the entire surface of your brulee. Then if you see any like open spots, you can come back and certainly torch that up. All right, there you have it. Now, allow these to cool. You can let them cool 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even if it's at room temperature, because that sugar will harden up very, very quickly. You really don't have to go to the fridge with these once you've done that, but I would definitely allow them to cool about 15 minutes, because we're going to garnish these. As you can see, this is going to look like these two in the front. We're going to garnish it with some mint and some fresh raspberries as soon as this is cooled off. Well, these mint leaves are rather big, so they're going to go on just the way they are. And I got some raspberry. And there you have it, folks. That's our bourbon creme brulee on the pellet smoker. It took us about an hour to do the whole thing. 40-minute cook. If you don't have the pellet smoker, by all means, go ahead inside and do it in your oven, 320 degrees, 325 for about 40 minutes. All right, what am I going to do with this? We're going to dig in here and give this a shot. Now, already you can tap that, and you can hear that caramelized, crystallized sugar on top. So I'm going to crack that. Come on, come on. Cheers. Folks, you got to try this. Creamy, delicious, it's light, it's refreshing, it's like everything at the same time. What's not to like about creme brulee? And there are so many options you can do with this, so many flavorings you can add. You can do lemon, you can do chocolate, you can do maple. We did a bourbon creme brulee for you today on our pellet smoker. I hope you try this at home. It's absolutely delicious. You're going to impress everybody you do this for. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is Tommy the Butcher for Wise Guys Barbecue. Can't wait to see you next time.